My boss told me I don't look the part for a promotion. I just nodded and kept working. What he didn't know was that I'd been documenting everything for months. I work in tech sales at a mid-sized software company, been there 3 years, consistently in the top tier for revenue. My client relationships are solid, my retention rate is over 90%, and I've never missed quota, not once. When the senior account manager position opened up, I applied the same day. I had all the qualifications, plus I'd been doing half the work already without the title or pay. My boss Kevin called me into his office on a Thursday afternoon. He had this uncomfortable smile plastered on his face, the kind people wear when they're about to deliver bad news but want to seem nice about it. He said I was a valuable team member, a real asset to the company, but that the senior role needed someone with more executive presence. I asked him what that meant specifically. He shifted in his chair, cleared his throat twice, and said something vague about appearance and presentation skills, about how clients expect a certain image from senior leadership. I'm a woman who wears comfortable blazers and flat shoes. I keep my hair short because it's practical. I understood exactly what he was saying without him having to spell it out. 2 days later, he promoted Tyler. Tyler started 2 months after me. He'd missed quota twice in the last quarter and spent most client meetings nodding along while checking his phone under the table. But Tyler wore expensive tailored suits and had that perfect corporate haircut. He looked the part, apparently. I didn't argue, didn't send angry emails or storm into HR. I just said I understood his decision and went back to my desk. I kept my head down, kept working my accounts, kept hitting my numbers. Kevin probably thought I'd accepted my place in the company hierarchy. What he didn't know was that I'd already been having conversations with Data Point Solutions, our biggest competitor, for about 6 weeks. Their VP of sales had reached out on LinkedIn after seeing my numbers at an industry conference. They'd been recruiting me hard, offering 40% more than my current salary and a guaranteed management track within a year. I also didn't mention the folder I'd been building on my desktop for the past 6 months. Every comment Kevin made about professional appearance in team meetings, every time he praised Tyler for work I'd actually done, screenshots of client emails specifically thanking me for closing deals that went into Tyler's win column, documentation of the 3 times Kevin told me to let Tyler take the lead on my own accounts because the clients would respond better to him. The morning after Tyler's promotion was announced, I submitted my resignation. 2 weeks notice, professional and clean. Within an hour, Kevin was speed walking to my desk. His face had gone completely white. He pulled me into a conference room and immediately started backtracking. Said he'd been thinking about creating a co-senior position, that maybe we'd moved too fast on Tyler, that he wanted to discuss my future with the company. I told him I'd already accepted another offer and signed the contract that morning. His jaw tightened. He asked which company. I watched his expression carefully as I said the name Data Point Solutions, his main competitor, the company he'd been losing deals to all quarter. He actually stood up, his chair scraping loudly against the floor, started talking fast about non-compete agreements and legal action, about how I was violating company policy and he'd make sure I never worked in this industry again. That's when I pulled out my employment contract, the one I'd reviewed with a lawyer 2 weeks earlier. I slid it across the table and pointed to Section 7, Paragraph 3, the non-compete clause that specifically stated it only applied to employees in senior management positions or above. Kevin had spent months telling me I wasn't senior management material. He'd put it in writing during my performance review. I stood up, smoothed down my comfortable blazer, and told him the decision was final. Then I looked him in the eye and said I'd be taking something else with me too. My 3 largest accounts, the ones generating 60% of his division's revenue, had already agreed to move their contracts to DataPoint. Turns out they'd been working with me all along, not the company, and they'd followed where I went. Kevin was fired 6 weeks later when the division missed quarterly targets by nearly half.